Okay, we carry on with our lesson on Pythagoras. In our previous video, we discovered that if you want to look for, you're trying to find the missing long side, this one here, usually it's called C, then you just basically use the formula that the longest side square equals the two shorter sides squared and added together. Okay, and then you just take it from there. And you need your calculator, and the two buttons you need will be the square root button and the square button there. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next section, which is basically trying to work out with more complicated numbers. And you can see that here we have even decimal numbers. Okay, so in exam, they give you questions like this, and they're going to ask you to round your answers to, say, for example, one decimal place, or to round your answer to significant figures. They can say anything. Okay, so I would like to do question A for you, and then you're going to do question B, question C, and question D yourself. Okay, right. So this A here, like I tell you in exam, they always use anything, but we know that this is always C. So the longest side will be C. So in my head, I'm going to say C squared equals to A squared plus B squared. So that's the formula I'm going to use. But when I get here, I know that this A basically is what C is. Right? So I'm going to just basically replace that with A. That's the longest side square will be equals to real A. So basically the base and the height. So if you square the two shorter side and you add them together. Okay. So now using your calculator, you need to square this and you need to square that and find what the answer is. So if you just use your calculator now, squaring that, and then add it to the square of the other one, the answer is going to be 19.72. So you can always square them and add them. Just type it in one go. So square them and add them as you go. But that is still A squared. Okay. So to find what A is going to be the square root of 19.72. Okay. So the square root of 19.72 to as a whole would be 4.4407. It's a long number. Okay, so carrying on. So they would ask you to round it to one decimal place, for example. So my decimal place point is there. So that's the first decimal place. That's what I want to keep. So I want to put the boundary there. Okay. So if I put the boundary there, I will need that these numbers I need to cut off. I need to cut off 4, 0, 7, and 2 to keep this one. So I'm going to have 4.4. The number behind this one here on the right hand side is less than 5, so I cannot round this one. So the answer is just basically going to be 4.4 centimeters of that. Now I would like you to pause the video now, and if you want to do question B, question C, question D, you're just finding the long sides and you need to round your answer to one decimal place. Okay. So pause the video, try B, C, and D. Okay, hope you've done that. We've been asked to find the length of the hypotenuse, which is basically the long side. So when you're finding the length of the long side, you square the two shorter sides, add them, square root them. So if I do question D for you, so D will be the longest side. So if I square D, I'm going to get the two shorter sides squared. Okay. So if you do that, you then basically just type this in your calculator as it is, and you can square root it in one go. So that's going to be 5.6 squared plus 7.6 squares, and then you just get your answer. So your answer to this, if you just put it in a calculator, will be 9.44033. A very long number, but they want me to round it to one decimal place, which means that basically I need to just have this 4 here. This 4 will disappear because it's less than 5. So we're going to have 9.4 centimeters. So that's what D here is on there. Okay. Now what I want you to do now, I'm going to post this now, and then if you just want to mark your answers with the answers that are provided. Okay, so you can mark your answers with that. I would say with questions like this in exam, they'll be typically 3 marks in exam. So they'll be typically 3 marks questions in exam. Okay, hope you're done well on that one. We're going to move on into a question. This one I got from a past exam question. And here I would like you to pause the video, and this will be 3 marks. I want to see what you're gonna get out of this. Remember, they've asked you to round your answer to 3 significant figures. So I would like you to find what AC is on this one. Pause the video and try. Okay, so hope you've tried this. We've been asked to work out the length of AC. AC is the longest side, so that's going to be the hypotenuse. All right. Now, so if I'm looking for the longest side, I know that again I have to use the formula c squared equals to a squared plus b squared. Okay. Now, c squared is basically ac squared because that's the length they want. And that would be equals to a squared, which is basically 11 at the bottom, and b squared, which is 8 at the top there. So that would be 1 mark. The next mark would be basically you get it when you simplify this. So this is going to be maybe 121, and that's going to be 64. If you square a square that, that's what you get. Okay. So now you add them and then you square it. So you add them and then you square it. So if you do that, you're ending up with 13.60147,051. So when they see this in exam, that will be 2 marks. But you see now, you also have to round it to 3 significant figures here. And that's where the last mark is going to come. Now, with significant figures are numbers that are not zeros, unless the zero is in between other numbers. So this one here is the first significant figure, that's the second, and this is the third. It's nothing to do with the decimal point, right? So I've got 1, 2, 3 here. So I'm going to need to put that boundary there. The number behind this, the 0, is basically less than 5, so the 6 would just stay. So rounding this to 3 significant figures would be 13.6. And don't forget to put the units. So that will be 10. So if you got 13.6, give yourself 3 marks on that. So these would be typically exam question, 3 significant figures. Okay. Now, this one again, I would like you to pause the video, and if you want to try this, again, just like we did it in the other situation. So pause the video and try this quickly, finding Z to Y to 3 significant figures. Okay, hope you've done well on that one. Now, ZY would be like C. So if it's C squared equals to A squared plus B squared. Okay. Now, remember, ZY is the longest side. So this will be A and that will be B. The A and B can swap. It doesn't really matter. So I've got ZY squared equals to 3.2 squared plus 1.7. This you can put in the calculator and you can just square root them in one go. So if you put that one, if you put that one, it's going to give you what Z is. ZY is straight away. So that's going to be 3.6235 and so on. There's so many numbers behind there. Okay. Now, so you got one tick there and you got another tick there for the working out. Now, to find the rounding, the 3 significant figures, remember I told you that anything that's not 0 is significant. So 3 is the first one, that's the second one, that's the third one. Now, behind this third one, where the 3 is less than 5. So the 2 cannot be rounded up. So I've only got 3.62, and the answer is centimeters. Okay, so that's 3 ticks for you. All right, so you can now just basically pause the video and just mark your work if you've done that. Okay. So that's going to be the end of our session this morning.